Yeah, well, what we were alluding at the start of the show was Greg. You said that EU was going to be better this season. Are we seeing
Yeah.
that yet, or is
over the
that
course of
more
the
of a
year.
over the course of the whole year?
Yeah. I mean, right now, I would say North America looks stronger than Europe. But then I think as time goes on, Europe has had a lot of shakeups. The teams have structurally changed a lot. There's a lot of three new players coming together. A lot of teams where they've had very little experience together in the past. A lot of last minute roster swaps. Look at Chrome. He's had the whole off season to work with that team. So I think they've sussed it out and now they're refining. Like, I'm not going to say you've sussed out your full structure, but at least you know what your kind of game plan is, and now you're working on refining that kind of thing. Whereas I think a lot of the EU teams are still like not even sure what their play style is, right? They're like they're working that out, and they're working that out in the regionals, right? And
Yeah.
that's not a good place to be working out your play style. So that's why we're seeing a little bit of underperformance at times. But that will come with time. And like the best replays to analyze are the ones from your most recent tournament. So, we've only had one tournament in EU, whereas we've had two in North America. So comparing the full cup to the full open of Europe it's obviously gonna look a bit different.
Cash, how often do you guys do replay review? If
We
at all?
have an individual session once a week, so one-on-one with Snasky, and then usually we do like a team session once a week. Depending if we're having a good week, I think usually we just kind of try to stick to the points we've been given and try to perfect them. But usually we have like a one-on-one and a team session like once a week as well.
Interesting. Do you think are other teams like that too that you know of?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know I don't really know what teams have coaches that actually coach, to be honest.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
What do you mean
I
by
mean,
that,
it's like
Cash?
well, Oxygen have Billy, and I don't actually. I'm not saying this is like a flame or anything, but I don't know if Billy actually coaches them or not.
Hey, Archie said on our second show that they love Billy.
Yeah, Billy is a lovely guy. To be fair, I think he's good for the team, but I don't know if he helps them gameplay wise or not.
Yeah, so
Do you think go ahead, good.
I was gonna say you need a coach who can challenge you. Like, obviously you want to have that connection, that friendship, but having a coach who comes in and goes, guys, you're not doing that right, and then you have that bad day where you feel like crap and you're like, God, I hate myself because I can't play the game. But that's what you need to improve. Whereas if every day you're like, hey guys, you're doing great. We just need to work on this. You just need to work on your boost management a bit, and then we can get a few more demos, and then like, we got this next game, guys. Come on. You go in the next game and you come out, you're like, guys, we're not quite doing it. We need to we need to improve on this. Whereas if someone comes and goes, Cash, and you stop flipping through the air and wasting so much boost, chill out a bit. You need to work on your boost management like we did in that replay analysis, right? It's like you're challenging them. Obviously, the tone is up to the coaches and the players, but you need to be giving these guys a bit of a kick in the butt and make sure that they're working hard.
Do you think Billy is kind of similar to Epic Johnny? Because like how NRG, so I forget who it was saying that like Epic Johnny is supposed to like challenge them mid-series, like get them to do the right thing, but not necessarily like.
That's what Garrett
super
said. I
analyst.
think he says that Johnny's taking that leadership role for them.
Think Billy's like that?
I don't think so. I think the kind of team to kind of just talk it out between themselves. To be honest, maybe I'm taking the wrong idea of the team, but that's how I feel about it.
Almost like when your team's playing well, like everyone's a good coach. You know what I mean? Like when everything's going well, and that's probably Oxygen so far. Is that they need to start. They need things to go the other way, and then you see like what the coach actually does. Because I feel like all coaches look good, and probably all the players think the coach is good when you're winning. But then, yeah.
What I said there, that was me at one point when I was coaching, right? Like, I'm not saying that like I've come in at the start and I was instantly challenging people. That was actually, to be fair, that was Nolly who taught me that, right? Nolly was like, I need you to start telling me what I need to do better. Stop telling me and start telling me Nolly. I'm not gonna get annoyed if you tell me I'm doing something wrong. So yeah, like I've gone through phases where I've been that, hey guys, it's all good, and especially like you said, when things are going well. But you still need to be learning when you're winning, right? And so I think that's one thing. Like, I knew Snasky was going to be good at because he's always been like that. Like, even when I coached him, he was always like, "This isn't good enough" when we were winning. So like, he's always wanted to be better. And that's why I've always rated Chrome, because I feel like Chrome does that. Even though I don't know, I just there's some coaches you get a feel for them, and that's like the same thing with Billy, right? Like you get a feel that he might prove us all wrong, but certain coaches you feel like they don't let their players get away with just turning up, screaming, and going home.
Tell us, Chrome. Let's
I got the young lads. I gotta yell at them. I gotta babysit them and I gotta yell at them. I gotta
let
let
me
them know.
set the
You guys
scene.
are acting
Let me set the
stupid.
scene. We're 2-0 down. All right, here I am. I'm on your team, right? And I'm dropping the head a little bit. The comms, they're starting to slip. I'm not quite engaged with the game. I'm probably thinking, oh, we're gonna get swept. This sucks. Like, let me set the scene there. What are you saying to me?
Well, like we're losing. I mean, it
You're
depends
down
on how we're
2-0.
losing, right? So I let the guys know. Listen, guys, what we're doing right in certain areas, and then hey, whatever we're doing wrong, let's look past it. Let's make sure we just try our best, one a game at a time, right? Because at the end of the day, like when we had Reddles and we came back, it was about we're doing a lot of things right. It was just we're just missing that one mark, and if we just just focus solely on that, we can bring it back. And just we haven't had to do that this season so far, so I haven't really had to do that. But when I did it with Reddles, for us, it was just one game at a time. We know we were slow starters and just need to focus on what we're doing well.
So
Yeah.
you were more the positive, like the compliment sandwich, like, hey, we're doing this right. If we just do this,
I mean, you
Uh,
can't just completely batter players and not give them something to look towards, like like what they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
right. You gotta
yeah.
give them positive reinforcement, and then also to give them that information that they need to understand that they need to work on.
Yeah, because that's tournament as well. Tournament's different to scrims. Because scrims, if you lose, that's fine. Like you need to challenge people in scrims. It's when you go into a tournament, you then have a strategy around how you get the best out of your players. And if there's no point in telling a player you're playing awful in a tournament because it's just going to make them feel bad for a few games and then you lose anyway. But like you need to sometimes psych them up, and whatever way that is. Every player reacts differently. Every team reacts differently, but you work that out in scrims and then you implement it in and you create a language as well, right? Like I'm sure Chrome has got little phrases that he uses in tournaments to sort of
Oh, I got
trigger
my
that thing.
analogies, yeah.
Yeah, you got that. You got that. Like for example, if you say, "Oh, we've been a bit too aggressive," "Oh, we need to tone that down a bit." Next game, the team could be super passive, and then that's a problem, right? So you learn what your phrasing to make that happen is, and then you implement it. Because if you say something reactively and you've never practiced saying that before in a scrim environment, you don't know how the team's going to react, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so you form a language, you form a set of phrases, you form a mindset for the team. You have your little like mental resets, whatever that is for the team. And then when you're in that environment, it's not new to them, so they're going to be able to react to it correctly.
It helps too with like teams, like the higher end teams, they all have their roles on a team, and just making sure you're reinforcing your roles. And obviously, like the phrasing of first, second, and third man is really key at the highest level as well. That listen,
Yeah.
we're really dropping the ball as second man. Let's make sure we tone it down, or maybe we're playing a little too passive in that role. Let's try to play a little bit aggressive, maybe throw in some fake challenges.
Yeah.
Just like little
Hold on,
things like
hold on.
that.
Who said watch the Spanish? Am I missing something?
This is a
Nick
famous
apparently
thing
said
that
that.
Nick said when he was with Moist or Queso. He was coaching Queso. That Rise called him out that all he did as a coach, well, not all he did was a coach, but he was like didn't really offer much apart from watch the Spanish boys.
That was his number one thing.
That was his number one thing.
I feel like all coaches probably have like their one thing. I feel like
Yeah.
Mine
we could
is
ask.
like if we're up like 3 goals, 2 goals, like mine is like watch for them is because a lot of teams are obviously going to try to get that goal back. They're going to just send the house. So
Yeah.
just making sure everyone's just on their toes, being aware, head on a swivel.
Mine used to be no matter like how many shots you take, we're gonna score eventually.
Uh-huh.
You
Yeah.
guys read that. He'll tell you I said that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
you could tell back in the day when G2 played, the amount of shots they took with bad accuracy. You could tell.
I think I learned, when people used to do comms videos and people would be like, "Oh yeah, don't upload comms videos because you're giving away your secrets." But then people were like, "Oh, it doesn't really show that much, so just go for it. It's better for the content, right?" I watched a Mouse comms video back when Lethamir was their coach, and he said one little phrase in it that I really liked, and then I used it every single game at the Season 8 Worlds, which was the best we played in ages, which was just kick off to goal. And so that it was a way of us thinking about the next passage of play of just focusing on kickoff to the goal, to sort of like reset. And it's actually a performance psychology mindset. It's called like they refer to it as sentences. Like every sentence starts with a capital letter, ends with a full stop. What happens in the middle is a journey, right? Like you always start with a capital letter, always end with a full stop.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the kickoff to goal mindset of like whatever happens here, we have to focus on the kickoff until that goal happens.
That's something we applied last season leading into London. Did it for that one kickoff, and then it still fell apart. So sometimes,
no.
nerves just overtake, and you don't do the right things. So a little bit of sadness there for you, but yeah,
Cash, what's
that's
Snaski's? Tell me what's Snaski's one thing?
Snaski's.
He's go-to.
Yeah.
I don't really think he has a go-to thing to say. He's just always calm and composed, and that kind of keeps the team calm. And he always just kind of makes sure we're not nervous or anything. More than anything.
Mm.